Welcome to Nerdities. Bitches.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for your monthly dose of the weird, the macabre, and the all too convenient.
Nonsense.
Wink.
It's a nonsense show, kids.
So
this one's easier.
So it's time to put on your tinfoil hats and join Vin and myself in Vin and Justin's Tinfoil Hat Society.
Woo!
Vin, you're gonna take lead on this, huh?
Oh, sure. So,
Yes.
we're going to talk about the occult and secret imagery in movies. I have a couple.
You better not bring up Wizard of Oz. I don't want to hear that one.
Oh no, it's on the list.
Fucking knew it.
It's been disproved so many times.
Disproved by who? Nerds?
Everybody!
Yeah, show me one person, I'll show you a guy I'll punch in the mouth because he's lying out his teeth.
I love that we're starting the night with Vin and Joe at each other's throats. Everything feels better now.
Yeah.
Well, we might as well start there now. I had an order, but let's bring chaos into the mix. Wizard of Oz, Dark Side of the Moon, a.k.a. Dark Side of the Rainbow.
Well, I wasn't going for that one.
Oh, that's what you're going. That's not what I.
Yeah, Joe and I were on the same page with this one.
Yeah.
We were thinking hanging midget.
Yeah.
The midget? Oh, the hanging midget?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's all. I forgot about that one. What do you guys think? It's fake? It's a fake hanging midget?
It's not a midget.
No, it's not at all.
What is it?
It's actually a bird.
I actually heard it was a plane.
I think you're in a stupor, man.
Well, well done, gentlemen.
Thank you.
That was fucking
Thank
great.
you.
Everybody. There was a team effort on that one.
Yeah.
Bravo fucking O.
Set them up.
Knock him down.
So when you play the Dark Side of the Moon soundtrack, it completely links up with Wizard of Oz. And people have claimed that they've had transcendental experiences while viewing this. Joe, your energy right now is pissing me off. You keep throwing your head back and forth and rolling your eyes. I got a problem. We need to solve it.
It's my favorite episode ever.
It is a complete coincidence that they sync up.
Now,
Joe.
this is one of those not even conspiracy things that even... This is the first one on the show so far. I'll be like, you know what? This could happen. Pink Floyd could have decided to be like, you know what? Let's time up the elements of this album to that movie. My question is, why?
And also, if you're going to do that, why start at the third roar of Leo the Lion? It doesn't start at the first roar. It's the third roar. You're supposed to start Dark Side of the Moon.
Occult numerology, Joe, obviously.
If
Three's a lucky number.
Well, it's just like the numbers themselves, like they always represent, depending on which lunatic faction is, doing their whole magic. Because they're wizards.
Harry.
Pink Floyd's Wizards?
Well, at a certain degree, to make it, you're signing something.
Ooh, Joe's got his hands.
You're part of you're when you sign that dotted line with whatever record label. And then you make. What's up, Joe?
A multi-album contract.
I'm listening. I'm letting you set it up.
So you don't think so? Like, there's just, I don't know. They have these backward deals, and it's kooky
And all
Mysterious.
together. And spooky.
Yeah.
They're all together.
You got there. I think you got there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like, is that a made-up word there? They're all together ookie?
All words are made up.
Yeah.
No, because there's ookie cookie. People know that one.
That's its own kind of show. I don't know if we want to get into that.
I don't want to get into that really, but
No.
I think you have to actually play that game when you sign your record label. and you always lose when you sign that deal.
Unless you're into that kind of thing.
Unless you're into it, that's fine. But then they find a different way to get you.
That's a question. Would you rather sell your soul to a literal demon or be forced to eat the ookie cookie?
What am I getting out of the deal with the demon, though?
I suppose it would be whatever you really want, right? Whatever.
That's not even a question.
But, like, once you get it in the material realm, once you're dead, it owns your soul. So was it worth it? Or you just, you don't have to deal with demons ever, but you have to eat a cum-covered cookie.
Ew.
That's what the ookie cookie, you didn't know?
What kind of cookie is it?
Did not know that.
If it's crumble, absolutely not.
Maybe it'll make it taste better.
You know what?
Yeah, you can't spill crumb either, or a drop. Like, you have to be all up on it.
Well, it's going to be hard for crumbs to fall if it's glazed with jizz.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like Golden Child. Don't spill any water.
But, like, are we talking, like, a large cookie, or are we talking, like, a Chips Ahoy? Can I Famous Amos this? Can it be, like, bite-sized and I just, like...
Good soft batch. I could do a soft batch instantly.
Absolutely.
But no. Like, if we're talking Milo's, you're going to need something more.
See,
okay.
here's the
Now,
thing.
again, this goes back to what kind of cookie. Are we talking Mrs. Fields?
Because they get stale so quickly.
Yeah, but, like, old school, when you used to get them in the mall.
Well, how many movie producers or Hollywood producers are getting together and they're saying, Justin, you eat the cookie, that weak cookie, you're in. There's going to be, like,
but the
you're
deal,
not getting one. You're probably getting 2 to 4.
No. The deal was...
Touch your butt.
No, the deal...
I think that's a better question, though. You have to sign the deal with the demon to get whatever you want, or you have to eat the ookie cookie and you get a deal in Hollywood. Because you got to... It's like there's nothing with the ookie cookie unless there's some enticement.
Yeah.
Do I get to be the lead in a Marvel movie?
I mean, yeah, but they got to touch your butt.
Well, where'd that come from?
Not Joey Lawrence, Matt Lawrence. You hear his story recently? He's like, I was supposed to get the lead in a big time superhero movie, and I said no.
Yeah.
They wanted me to get naked, meet up with the director, and I was like, fuck that.
Current Marvel or like before Feige? I don't believe
I
Feige
think this is 2000. This is early. I think this is before Toby.
Yeah. I mean, I could see Avi Arad doing something like this. Not that I say he would or did. I don't need a lawsuit. But he's weird.
Yeah. I mean, he could have played Spider-Man or Cyclops, in my opinion. Who knows?
He'd be a great Iceman.
We're getting away from the whole deal here. Am I a lead? Can I be a lead in a Marvel movie?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, I'll eat the cum cookie.
Yeah, dude,
But I pick.
and you're John Cena. You can do whatever you want.
But I pick the fucking cookie.
You can pick the cookie, but it's going to be very ooky. It's going to be like Harvey Weinstein looking dudes with blue wieners.
I'm not doing it for them. They can.
I know, but they're doing it for you, and they're like, nah.
But it's only
playing with your little shriveled up gray thing.
One.
You gotta watch.
One round.
You have to watch.
Fine, one round of nut on the cookie. You don't overglaze a fucking donut here. You can't. Yeah, you just it's one.
Let's not put the word can't in here.
One dude, one cookie, because it's only one. I'm only getting one wish out of the demon.
But it's like but we have magic involved there, so he can pull off some incredible shit. Yeah. Whereas movie producers can only make it look like
you don't get a team of producers; you get one fucking guy.
You don't know that. There's always like multiple people in a room talking to each other.
Joey Hollywood. Standard procedure. Joseph.
So, when you've been in rooms where guys have jerked off on cookies in Hollywood, how many were there?
7.
7?
Oh shit, that's a lot.
I still get to pick the cookie?
You gotta pick an evil number like 13.
I don't know. Anytime someone says pick a number, I don't know why. I just always go to 7.
Well, it's like slot machine 777.
Yeah, true.
7-Elevens, 7 little chipmunks swinging on a branch.
Yeah.
Eating lots of sunflowers at your uncle's ranch.
There's treasure map from the sea.
He's talking
Joe,
Gorgonzola, and it's strictly
are
free
you
time.
with Justin, Joe? Are you selling your soul? I feel like you would.
He already did.
I'm not.
Just failed.
You're not. You're not with Justin. You're just going to roll your eyes at all these crazy things, but you're beckoned with the wish to be granted, and you say, "No, it's okay. I'm good."
Yeah.
Joe, they're going to say you can be the lead bass player for Rush. We'll get rid of the other guy.
Hey, all right. We've spent far too much time on cum cookies and deals here.
I'm really happy I sidetracked this nonsense show.
What else do you got?
I'm going to derail this Dark Side of the Moon thing.
I thought we were moving on from that.
So we'll stay in this realm. So Aladdin. There's a couple Disney ones. YouTube has been scrubbed. I remember there was one a long time ago that had like a whole bunch of them, and I can't find them anymore. But Aladdin, the genie, when he talks about hey, teenagers, take off your clothes.
Was it all good children take off your clothes?
Something like that outside the balcony.
Mm-hmm.
Rape.
Never heard that one.
Nope, never
Heard about it. Never heard that one. But if you're going to drop the Lion King one,
That's next on the list. Sex in the Sky.
I paused it exactly. And yes, that one's true.
I don't know, because then you can go all the way back to The Little Mermaid. Big dicks hanging up in the fucking thing.
Yeah, but they've
The
come.
guy was tired.
They've talked about that though.
Yeah, he was just tired.
That castle looked like a big dick.
He's like,
He was just tired.
didn't realize it, man.
Yeah.
My bad.
I have a question. Is this guy's an artist, so I think it's an obvious question. Is the guy blind? Has he ever seen a penis?
You know, you're being very judgmental.
Not being judgmental, I'm just asking questions.
Yeah, but they have nothing to do. Like, these aren't even conspiracy theories.
Well, it's an overarching conspiracy theory of the subversion of youth from Disney.
There you go. There you go, kid.
There we go. Now we can go to. Well, this is one of my favorite ones because there is a lot of videos on this one. Pinocchio and Pleasure Island. Because they said this was originally made in the 40s, 1940, I think the Pinocchio movie came out. And they talk about Pleasure Island, kids can smoke and drink and do whatever they want. And they kind of allude to that's subliminal messaging of sex trafficking that exists in the world.
Well, I'd have to counter it because the point of the whole movie is to be a good person. And that was like the ultimate him fucking up. Like he went and got drunk and smoked cigars and fucked up so hard he became half a donkey.
Yeah.
So like that's going contrary to a sex trade. That's like, hey,
it's actually teaching the kids to not be the quote jackass.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where people talk about with these occult societies. It's like they tell you without telling you directly. It's like a vampire. You have to invite them in your house. They have this weird karmic thing where they have to tell you without actually telling you. Because, let's face it, Epstein's Island isn't the first. It isn't the last. It's not the end-all, be-all. That was kind of more scapegoat, in my opinion, anyways. And this took place in the 40s. I mean, there's that one famous scene where the guy is in there with the, I don't know, was it the cat and the fox? And he talks about how, like, he wants to, like, send all the kids there and buy them up and shit like that. There was, like, a big bag of gold on the counter. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, yeah, but back when that movie was made, like, not that child trafficking is any different now, but, like, it was pretty open. Like, there was fucking child slave labor everywhere. Like,
yeah. Well, I don't know about in this country.
No. But that would be why it was in a film that we made, to be like, this shit happens.
Yeah. Listen to your parents, kiddies. Don't follow strangers. Don't believe people who are telling you that you can go to a really fun place and not have to follow your parents' rules, because you'll end up turning into a donkey.
True.
There's a donkey punched.
There's a sub one to this. So they said in Shrek, Donkey, they never said what fairy tale he was from, but it turns out he was like Pinocchio's buddy in Pinocchio.
I mean, that makes sense.
They
Given
thought
that,
yeah, because they knew each other. I forget where it's at.
I always figured the point of Donkey and Shrek were that they don't specifically come from any other fairy tale. Like, the main characters don't come from a fairy tale. They're their own kind of generic / crappy fairy tale story. But that does make sense. Where do you get a talking donkey from?
Yeah, Pleasure Island.
Did they talk by the time they were full on donkeys? Because the one kid, all he could do was bray.
He might be. Do you remember the fairy tale about like the fucking animals that had a band and they went into a town and they could talk and shit?
I don't remember that one. Is that an Aesop fable?
It might be.
Okay. Don't know that one. It's not Emmett Otter, right?
No.
Okay.
Moving on. So now we have. I'll start with. There's 2 in Back to the Future that I'm aware of. One's in Back to the Future 3. We'll start at the end.
I was gonna get up, but I'm gonna stay here for this because.
So
Back to the Future.
There's this scene at the very end when Doc's giving the sign off. Here's my kids, Billy and Joey, and the kid by his wiener he does this and then points to his pee-pee. Now, people say that he had to go to the bathroom. He was just telling them they had to go to the bathroom. Now, this is a 3rd installment of a blockbuster film. They're not cutting that out. It's weird because it's plain as day.
To be fair, the budget for the 3rd movie was tied into the budget for the 2nd movie because they shot them simultaneously. So, yes, more than likely, they left it in there.
They were pressed for time.
It was
also probably that whole train set was very expensive.
probably most of the budget for that 3rd movie because that fucking 2nd movie swallowed 85% of that fucking budget.
Yeah, that was early days CGI, and that shit wasn't cheap. They had one shot of Jaws 47 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was a couple million right there.
Yeah, but you see the kid fanning to his wiener and then pointing at it. It's weird. Don't put that in your film.
Okay,
if it's the only,
I'm looking at
the only
video right
fucking
now.
shot, then they have no choice. You know what I mean?
And also, child labor with that might have been the best take.
Yeah, that could have probably was the only fucking thing they had where the kid wasn't picking his fucking nose.
Yeah,
dude, pick your nose. Don't point at your dick.
Well, if he was legit motioning that he had to fucking piss, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at it right now. I'm watching it. I gotta scroll back again because it's a 45-second scene.
Yeah.
The kid has to piss.
Yeah.
Did you see the kid's expression?
It's just weird to leave that in.
Again,
That's probably...
if it's the only fucking shot that you have, it's the only fucking shot you have.
I wouldn't leave that in there.
They might have had no choice.
Mm-hmm.
So now we go deeper.
It is weird. Like, the kid looks like I would have been shocked if right after they yelled cut on that shot, there's just a dark spot that starts to develop in the front of those pants. I think he really had to go.
Well, it goes back to the child labor laws. Like, was that kid abused? Like, they go, don't fucking move, Billy. He's like, I gotta pee. How long do you have to pee for? They have to fucking motion to his dick and point at it 3 times.
Yeah, because they're very strict with that. Like, the parents have to be on set. Like, they're very strict with that.
Probably looking over at his mom, like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I gotta pee. And the parents like, shut the fuck up. This is paying for our house. I know it's only like for $500 you're making because you're a silent day player, but that's paying for this month's mortgage. This is the 80s.
This movie has Spielberg's name on it as a producer.
Yes.
Poor bastard. So now we go back to the Future 1. When Marty goes back in time.
Back in time.
So, the mall... My fucking brain's gonna short out. So the mall has like 2 towers, or like 2 trees rather. Sorry, because it's like the Twin Oaks Mall or whatever the fuck it is.
Twin Pines.
And when Marty comes back,
Please don't tell me this is what you have.
oh dude, they're gone. The 2 trees are gone, and it's like 9/11.
It's the Lone Pies Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he killed the pine when he was...
Yeah.
Yeah, when he arrived in the past, he ran over the one pine tree. Or did the owner shoot it, or did he run it over? Either
ran
way,
it over. Yeah.
It got destroyed. So that's the thing from the past that he changed. That was really insignificant. The only thing it changed is that one pine grew.
Mm-hmm.
Great, easily explained away. I didn't think of that. I really didn't think of that. So now, if that's the case, how come there's so many other television shows and movies where 9/11 seems to be a common theme? Joe, when's Neo's birthday in The Matrix? Oh, wait.
How the fuck does Joe know? You want Joe to produce?
Joe, just guess.
Joe, whip out your fictional
I figured
character
because you set up
calendar.
9/11.
Yeah,
I have seen this thing online that when they show Thomas Anderson's license, his birthday's September 11th.
Weird.
Bloody, bloody.
Weird indeed. Now, there's just one example upon many examples.
I think you
There's
missed an
television
opportunity
about
here.
this.
Because
It's
there's a
weird.
moment when a helicopter crashes into the side of a building in the Matrix, and it doesn't come down, but an explosion happens. Coincidence? I think so.
Well, if you ever want to dive down the rabbit hole,
Yo.
the 9/11
Oh,
imagery,
the Matrix
many things.
rabbit hole?
Hold on.
Coincidence? You know what I'm going to
Follow
say.
the white rabbit.
Can we please make the official Tinfoil Hat Society shirt say coincidence? I think so.
Unreal.
Vinny, this is our show, and of course I want to get behind you on some of these, but like the Back to the Future ones were pretty easy.
They're not.
Second
are.
one was.
No, they're not.
No, the second one is explained in the fucking movie itself, bro.
Well, no, because when there's 9/11 in dozens of movies all throughout time before 9/11, it's weird.
It's a coincidence.
If every movie had a
Always a coincidence.
substantial 9/11 thing pop up, I'd be like, yo, that's pretty fucking weird.
The only
It doesn't
time
necessarily mean anything.
The only time I buy any of this stuff is The Simpsons. I don't care what anybody fucking says.
They're good.
Their track
They are
record
really
is
good.
fucking insane.
They throw so much shit out there, though.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It does
So,
matter.
you don't think the guy who's in charge of The Simpsons is part of one of these cults?
No.
These dark wizard cults?
Oh,
No.
I think Matt.
They just
I think
happen to have all this foresight that things just magically happen?
Matt Groening's a fucking wizard.
I believe he's a dungeon master for some D&D game. I would say that.
Called
because they
Life.
did an entire episode of Futurama based on it. But
But also, if you look at the rotating writing crew for The Simpsons,
you do how many episodes? You're gonna call some shit.
yeah, and especially in the
Dude,
in the
some
golden
fucking
age of The
shit, though.
Simpsons.
Some shit. They've hit like very specific things.
They were
Yeah.
really good writers.
Joe, don't.
Really good writer.
That's it. They were really good writers. And
They're
then
really good writers.
It's always a coincidence, and it could just be explained away because the word
Because they're
coincidence.
good writers.
Okay, list some of them, and let's try and go through.
Writers?
Trump's presidency.
That one is interesting, but it's not too crazy. He's a kind of guy who his entire life was acting like he was saying for a while that he would consider running. So yeah, they would put it in there as a joke. The fact that he won is the fucking scary part.
yes.
Them being bought by Disney.
Not too crazy a notion. Kind of prophetic, yes, but as things were going, companies were merging, things were being snatched up. So it's the fact that they specifically called Disney out is lucky, I'd say. But 20th Century Fox is probably going to get snatched up by somebody eventually.
And they made a lot of Disney jokes in the past.
Well, yeah, it's easy fodder.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that their sale and them predicting it was anything. listen, I've given you examples. You had agreed that the Trump one so
Fox
far.
had tried to buy them in the past. The writers knew about it, and they were like, "Oh well, one day we'll probably get bought by Disney." And then, yeah, one day it came true.
There's a bunch of others on the Simpsons, but I didn't dive into this because I want movies, more so movies. But I don't know. Coincidence seems to be a pretty big marker in Hollywood. Just everything's coincidental. So I guess my last note would be Stanley Kubrick's work for the 1969 moon landing.
Have we touched this one? Have we already gone over this?
Yeah, I think we did.
Oh, we're talking about movies and conspiracies with movies.
That's not a movie.
No.
Even
It's a
if you
film.
did it, it's not a film. It's a broadcast.
It wasn't broadcast.
Vin, I'm gonna give you 3 minutes to flounder around, and then I'll be right back, and I'll save you from yourself like usual.
I don't need to be saved. I mean, Stanley Kubrick, obviously, he made it. Everyone knows it, and you guys are just naysayers. It's fine. I mean, did you guys see Eyes Wide Shut? Not to whack off to. You should watch it. Not to whack off.
Parts of it, not the whole thing.
It's a
Yeah.
very,
Just to
very,
whack off to, huh?
very strange movie.
Basically Tom Cruise being cuckolded, right? Is it
Yeah.
essentially the thing?
That's the overall premise of it, yeah.
No, that's not the overall premise of it, Joe. God damn it.
It is!
It's not. The overall premise is he joins this fucking occult society where they just bang and shit. And they wear these goofy fucking robes. And they have their little order.
Isn't a part of it that he's interested in seeing his wife get fucked by another guy?
Probably. It's Tom Cruise.
Probably. Wait a minute. Did you see it?
Only just to whack off.
I do appreciate you set that joke up twice, and we got to the end of it.
Whatchamacallit? No, I mean, I know, like, the bullet points. You know? It's so hard. Like, when the movie came out, I was, like, 13, 14. So, like, obviously, there's, oh my god, pair of tits. Control yourself. Second tits. God fucking damn.
But, like, what's the conspiracy behind Eyes Wide Shut? I don't, like...
Wealthy occult societies that run shit that people seem to coincidentally just say they don't exist. And just because people, because religion is just such a subject now, atheism is pretty big, so people kind of don't believe in mysticism, even though these goofy societies, like Anna Abramovich, you know who that bitch is?
No.
She's like a crazy Satanist witch lady who like does these like spirit cooking things with a bunch of big Hollywood people. She's a good total goon. Microsoft hired her for like a hot minute. They fired her right away because people were like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing hiring this bitch?" Weird lady. But I mean, you had Nexium, the one from the chick with Smallville. Scientology. I mean, they were like legalized like overnight because they held the judge hostage. It's like common knowledge. And people don't know.
Scientology has done some completely underhanded, dirty shit. Part of their doctrine is literally, if anyone questions or attacks the church, you can go scorched earth on them. They are a horrendous group, and I would love to see them try and take us down. We're not
Take me down, dude. I'll join you guys. I'm pretty sure my thetans are pretty high.
You don't have enough money. None of us. We don't have enough money together.
I will disprove the Kubrick thing right off the bat. None of those shots in the moon landing are Kubrick shots. Kubrick had such a style to him.
Yeah, none of them were centered.
Yeah, there you go, Mike.
Yeah. They've got to be down the middle,
Yep.
perfectly balanced.
Yep. None of those were Kubrick shots.
Well,
For a guy who likes conspiracies, have you ever watched Adam Ruins Everything?
who's that?
It's a show that was on, I believe it was True TV for a while. I think, do you have HBO Max? I think all the episodes are on there. Start watching it. It's much like Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. It's one of the best shows, I think, for citing actual facts for doing real research and not just pulling stuff out of their ass. And one of the episodes he does specifically is about the moon landing. And they give scientific reasoning with experts of why it couldn't have been faked.
Experts.
This goes back to what I've been saying and what they're going to prove with that movie that's coming out. Footage we saw, I don't think was faked. I think they recorded something in case there was an issue with, like, because if they had trouble trying to broadcast that back to Earth and it was coming in shitty or just didn't come in at all, they needed something to prove that we made it.
It's a realistic concept because there's a lot riding on it.
Yes,
that's something they had a contingency plan. That's not a crazy thought.
The space race was just, we had to get there first.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. You know what I've been doing the last few days? I've been really enjoying. I went down a mad rabbit hole. I've been watching a lot of YouTube clips from the Theist experience. It's a collective of individuals who are the atheist experience. A lot of atheists. Usually, it's two people at the same time taking calls, and there's a redundancy to speaking to theistic people, where when you ask them to give a specific answer, even if it's something that's basic yes or no, they will dance around it like crazy and use generalizations and not answer the question. And it's fucking scary.
I would say it's my age-old thing about people that actually take surveys. People like that actually call into those things, they don't know what the fuck they're saying. Like, real people that, like, are actually about that life, like, they don't care. They don't need validation. You know what I mean? Like, the people that are, like, sitting outside Walmart, fucking calling you, telling you you're going to hell because you bought, like, a New Jersey Devils shirt. It's like, okay, thanks, Suze.
Yeah. The more extreme you are, the more insane you are. I feel like that goes hand in hand. But you'll hear a lot of people, like, I've been spending a fair amount of time listening to talk to folks, and you'll learn two things. There are some very unintelligent people willing to believe in religion. Like, just, you can't get them to think about a premise at all. And there are some very smart people who have invested a lot of time in religion that are unwilling to get past it, unwilling to use their intelligence to get past what they've been indoctrinated with. That's a big word.
I think there's a... I think it's a situation where you can be religious and smart, not flaunt either one, and, like, be completely aware because of your intelligence that, like, the religion might not necessarily be legit. But I think it's the idea of having something to put, like, hope into. Because hope's not a very scientific thing.
The theme that comes up on there constantly. Faith is nice and all, but faith can... If you believe something based on faith, you could do some horrendous shit in the name of faith. If you don't have truth or reality to back it up, you can be talked into doing some horrific shit. And religion has done that over the centuries.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want a rabbit hole, you want to hear, and it's also great because one of the main guys, this dude, Matt Dillahunty, he starts off every call really chill and gives people more than enough opportunity to explain themselves. And when they can't, they spend like 2 minutes trying to, and they're just rambling. He'll put them on hold, ask them to get to their point, let them start talking again. Quite often they ramble, and he'll do this 2 or 3 times. And by like the 4th time, he's fucking fuming and cursing at him. And for that reason alone, it's entertaining.
All right, Ben. I'm gonna take the reins back now.
Bye.
We're gonna do some fun stuff. We're gonna do.
I don't know. Cookie Cookie was fun.
TV and movie fan theories.
Okay.
These are not necessarily,
Conspiratorial in nature?
Yes. I think we have definitely talked about a good chunk of these on the other podcast, but it's just fun. We're going to have some fun here. Breaking Bad is The Walking Dead prequel.
Love that.
There is some connecting tissue between the two shows. That's why the theory is very interesting. The timelines don't completely match up, though, do they? Well, Breaking Bad starts and doesn't time jump much.
Right.
It spends a lot of time in the same year.
I don't think The Walking Dead ever drops a date.
They don't. The only thing you can really go on is what is the oldest vehicle that's sitting there? Like what?
Right.
Where does technology stop, and what instances of information sitting around there can give you a context clue of what it is? I don't think they ever. I don't know. It's been a while since I stopped watching that show.
Too.
I don't know if they ever looked at.
I don't know.
A newspaper and did a Marty McFly.
I don't know. It says, through 5 seasons of Breaking Bad, Walter White was responsible for a number of horrific events, including his brother-in-law's death and a tragic plane crash. One fan theory ponders whether his drug empire also could have resulted in the zombie apocalypse on The Walking Dead. The most compelling sign that Breaking Bad is a prequel to Walking Dead is the presence of blue meth in both series. The seed for this theory was planted in the second episode of The Walking Dead, in which Merle's secret drug stash strikes quite the resemblance to the product that turned White into a kingpin. Further hints at a possible connection between the AMC dramas include a red sports car and characters named Glenn, Gus Fring, possibly being Patient Zero, and the description of Merle's drug dealer as a janky little white guy, who Daryl quotes as saying, "I'm going to kill you, bitch." Breaking Bad's Jesse Pinkman does fit that physical description. Sure did have a penchant for saying that particular B word.
I love this conspiracy.
Yeah.
You know I'm a big universe building guy.
Sure.
I don't like the notion that it was the blue meth that did it, because I have too much respect for Walter White's ability as a chemist.
I wonder, though, if not the meth being directly related to the cause, if it just caused some kind of low-grade genetic mutation, that, like, whatever virus this is, that's kind of like a catalyst.
I do kind of remember in the end of season 1, they bring up something about, like, mad cow. It's some kind of rabies type thing. So for meth to mutate a virus or bacteria is a fun, kooky notion. But there's another thing, though. He made a lot of it. Who knows how far it got out of Arizona, but he stopped making it after like a year or so. Jesse was making a shitload when he was all locked up. So that could have spread pretty far. But I love the concept that it's all one world. Or there's an alternate future for the Breaking Bad universe where it becomes Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Maybe not the universe that we saw ends that way. Because there is a time jump. There's an eventual time jump with Walter.
Yeah. The second one on my list here is Sandy died at the beginning of Grease.
Oh, man, I hope so.
This one's interesting.
Sarah Michelle Gellar circulated a 2013 fan theory about Grease when it resurfaced 3 years later. Wait, this has blown my mind, the actress wrote on Facebook. At the end of the movie, Danny Zuko and Sandy Olsen fly off in a red convertible as they wave goodbye to their friends on the solid ground below, leading to the conclusion that the flying car was the final result of Sandy's fantasy, as in she is dead. During the song Summer Nights, Danny and Sandy recount how they first met and started a summer fling. The line, "I saved her life, she nearly drowned," suggests that Sandy actually did drown, and the whole movie is an elaborate musical fantasy due to the lack of oxygen getting to her brain. The flying red convertible also suggests that Sandy is happily being whisked away to heaven at the end of the movie.
Plausible enough. My question to build off of it, because Danny is focused on at parts in the story where she's not, are they both dying, and are they both, their spirits both being taken to heaven?
Also, I will add to that too, the whole Rizzo subplot.
The pregnancy thing?
Yeah. Why, you know?
Yeah, why are they focusing on... Why is Sandy's death knell involving other people's lives so much? That's the only wrinkle. Why would her dying mind give a rat's ass about... Like, did she create these... Because remember, she's never met anybody but Danny. So she created all of these characters and gave them an intricate backstory right before her brain did that. And you know what's really fucking pissing me off? That I'm putting this much time into Grease.
Number 3, this one's going to be for Vin. It's also going to be upcoming topics for the future of the show. But Jack in Titanic is from the future.
I do like that.
Were Jack Dawson's intentions for saving Rose in Titanic something beyond just love? The signs seem to point to yes. One fan theory posits that Jack is actually a time traveler who came back in time to keep Rose from dying by suicide, because that would have caused a delay in the ship's course and potentially kept the RMS Titanic from crashing, altering the course of history. Some signs that Jack is from the future include his anachronistic fashion. His haircut and backpack weren't common until later, and his mentions of man-made structures that weren't yet created in 1912, a roller coaster on Santa Monica Pier, and Lake Wissota.
I'm going to spin this.
Spin it.
I think Jack was actually a time traveler, but he's responsible for the destruction of Titanic. In the future, Titanic is not... If you came from the future and went on the ship that's about to be destroyed, why the fuck would you do that? You would go on there thinking, I'm going to go on the ride of this unsinkable ship. This is going to be great. I'm going to get on here. Everything's going to be perfectly fine. You do one thing that alters the track of this ship, and it ends up being destroyed. I think it's a butterfly effect movie.
I'm going to spin it also.
Ooh.
I think there's always two sets. I think Jack, and there was another agent provocateur. Jack was supposed to make sure that the ship did leave the port because he's part of the port that was on Jekyll Island that wrote the Federal Reserve back in 1913. You guys know about that? And there was another guy who had to make sure that they all went down because Jack was obviously not willing to kill himself, and that guy was the older guy. Who is that, you ask? The ship captain. Check me.
That's a big leap.
I was going to say...
It's time travel. It's the biggest leap of all time. I can do whatever I want. Darth Vader's in it now.
Some would say it's so big of a leap, it's quantum.
So, it is very common for people who purchase props to find something as close to the time period as possible. Where you'll see in all these movies where it'd be like, oh, okay, this movie takes place in 1915, but that hat wasn't created until 1917. Or it's so common in movies.
But what about the landmarks?
Yeah, that could be written off as horrible writing.
Yes,
they're not doing research. I agree with that, and as we all know, I think that's what it was. But I do like the idea of Jack being a time traveler. I just don't think he was there to keep it on track to be destroyed. I think he went there expecting to have a fun ride and fucked everything up.
I 100% buy it's a time travel movie because of who directed it.
Mm.
Yeah.
If it was not a Cameron movie, I'd be like, this is all stupid. But
what if Jack was a Terminator?
That's what I'm saying. What if we trace back Rose's lineage to Sarah Connor?
You mean trace forward?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had American Terminators. They weren't all Austrian.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a different model.
Yeah. The T-1000, Robert Patrick, and
that's why he knew he couldn't get onto the door with her. A normal human with a normal weight.
Oh fuck, dude!
Because he's fucking made of metal.
endoskeleton made out of titanium
Yep.
would sink that fucking thing. Holy shit, we blew it wide open.
Yeah, but he would have sunk
Congrats,
anyway
boys.
to the bottom.
He was holding on to it. He was holding on. He was throwing it off a little bit.
Wow. Yeah, because how did he get back up? The ship pulled him under. He should have died right there.
Uh-huh.
Maybe Terminators have, like, inflatable ballast that'll keep them in water. But once he gets out of the water, he's no longer being supported by those inflatable ballasts. His weight is all being taken on by that door.
And we don't know what happened to his legs and shit. All that fake-ass skin could have been ripped off. He wasn't getting on... what was he going to do? He's going to climb on there and have fucking metal legs? You know what kind of fucking panic that would have set in Rose? And if he was there to make sure she didn't die, so that eventually John Connor could be born.
And how good of an artist is he? I'm a good artist and all.
Right.
But that dude was fucking on point.
It was like
He
photorealistic.
Robotic.
Uh-huh.
I'll spin this
Like a
even
printer.
more. That Jack was an avatar for a Navi.
Now,
You think a
Reverse
Navi
Avatar.
a Navi was riding a human body?
Reverse,
On
and that went
Pandora?
back in time. Yeah.
you're mixing
And then-
mixing your movies, though.
And then
Yeah, there's no time
Tom
travel.
Arnold was his best friend / partner, and then they went to the bottom of the sea and found some weird ass creature.
You know,
abyssy thing.
we make it plausible, and here you are trying to fucking poo on
Nothing
it.
plausible about
How's that
this.
not plausible? How is that not plausible to be like,
Right.
oh, it's quite
lines
possible. It's quite possible that Jack could have been a fucking Terminator.
Yeah.
Given that
Ice
James
T-1000.
Cameron didn't make a fucking serious movie ever in his life that didn't have any connection to fucking sci-fi, and you're gonna sit here and try to tell me, oh, it's outlandish to think that Jack, who seems kind of
True
misplaced
lies.
in the timeline,
True Lies had nothing to do with sci-fi.
but it was a
It
serious
was
movie.
fantastical. He did ride that horse off a building.
Yeah.
He did. Oh, he did.
was
That
over the
movie-
top.
That
Yeah.
movie was very over the
Yeah.
top.
So
Yeah.
eat it, Joe.
The battery dies on the fucking tape recorder just as they're doing the terrorist video. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
You would have tested that.
That is one of my
You
favorite
would have had it plugged in.
movies.
All right, moving on. The Always Sunny characters don't actually look like that.
I love this one too.
Ever wonder how Dennis, Mac, and Dee look so attractive but seem to disgust almost everyone they meet in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? One Redditor posits that the characters are unreliable narrators and present the audience with idealized versions of themselves. Dennis used cheap tactics and manipulation to sleep with women despite being conventionally attractive. Mac normally has solid muscles but is shown to be weak and not very intimidating. And Dee presents well, but no level-headed man is ever interested in her. We already know these characteristics are insanely narcissistic, so perhaps that extends to how they have us see them.
Well, the episode where they all turn into black people.
I don't think I saw that one.
Oh, that one is hilarious. Danny DeVito as the black woman was so funny.
But the only thing I don't completely agree with, there's a lot of women who are just into Dennis. And then he starts talking and it puts them off.
And what about Fat Mac?
Yeah. They kept bringing up how fat he was, and then they keep bringing up how good of shape he is. And also, their mentalities, sure, it would make sense that they are projecting beauty onto themselves, but when they look at each other, they don't, except for Dee, because she's a bird, they don't say negative things about each other that much. Until Mac got in good shape, or got in bad shape, they kept calling him fat, and then he got in really good shape, and they kept busting his balls because he got in good shape for the wrong reasons. Although it's an interesting experiment on their mentality. I do enjoy this one.
Yeah.
Next up, Bender wasn't the Bender we know in the Futurama pilot. The Bender that all Futurama fans know is a reckless, misanthropic criminal, but according to a fan theory, man, I hate when these sites do the load thing, and then you're like, okay, cool, and then more pop-ups and it reloads.
Yeah.
It makes reading it almost impossible.
Yeah, that's why I don't go to like Ranker or anything anymore.
I know. According to the fan theory, the foul-mouthed robot is only this way due to an electrical issue that we see in the pilot. In the first episode, Bender is uncharacteristically depressed after learning that he has been making suicide booths. Another important facet of the theory is that when Bender reboots, his personality is set to a mode that befits his surroundings, which happens in the episode where he becomes a penguin. The theory states that when Bender gets electrocuted in the Hall of Criminals, he reboots into a criminal personality himself.
But then, once he gets out unpenguined, why does he go back to that criminal mentality?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's an interesting one, but it's a bit holy.
Scooby-Doo is about kids trying to escape the draft. The cartoon mystery franchise Scooby-Doo never really explained why a ragtag group of 4 dissimilar teenagers decided to travel in a van to no known destination, so a fan developed an origin story theory. As the show premiered in 1969, the same year the Vietnam War was at its height, the Scooby Gang is driving to Canada to escape the draft. The theory posits that the clean-cut Fred was drafted, but ran away to be with his fiancée Daphne while hippie Shaggy and activist Velma joined them, as they both opposed the war themselves.
I kind of like this one.
Yeah, I like this. Because you really don't know why the fuck they're just driving around the country in a van.
Drugs.
You could say it's a business, but they don't charge anybody.
No.
Drugs.
And drugs are involved.
Drugs.
You know Shaggy
Drugs.
brought those
Yeah.
drugs with
Well,
him.
that's how they could hear Scooby.
Shaggy's holding.
Yeah, he's constantly got the munchies. That's why they can't see all the tricks
Quite.
until they sober up.
I will end my list here because there's 21 in total, but I'm going to end it with the saddest one of all.
I think I've read this list.
The Rugrats are all figments of Angelica's imagination.
Yeah, I know I've read this list.
This Rugrats fan theory is pretty morbid. It states that all the toddlers were merely a product of a lonely girl's imagination. Angelica imagined her parents' friends having babies in order for her to have other kids with which to play. Hypothetically, Chucky and his mother died, which is why his father is constantly a nervous wreck. Tommy was stillborn, leading Stu to always make toys for the son he never had. And the DeVilles had an abortion, so Angelica imagined male and female twins as she didn't know the gender.
Now, are there ever moments where the parents interact with these kids specifically, where Angelica's not there?
Yes.
Yeah, kids get picked up and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's twisted as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't hold muster.
I would have spun it to it's all in Chucky's head.
I don't think Chucky would make up Angelica.
I read this list too. There's one about Dexter's Laboratory, right?
Yeah, there is. They talk about Nemo as an imaginary coping device for Marlin and Finding Nemo.
That runs into the same problems. Then why is an entire fish tank full of fish talking to an imaginary...
Yes.
Yeah.
Walter White was Malcolm from Malcolm in the Middle.
I mean, they kind of played that joke themselves.
Eric is in a coma for half of the 70s show. Willy Wonka sacrificed the kids' cabin in the wood style.
Alright, that's good.
I think he should have.
That's not a bad.
The coma
How
thing.
many kids are in that movie?
5.
The spinning top doesn't matter in Inception.
This one I never agreed with, because that last moment, I still say it wobbles, just to let you know what the reality is. That the whole point of the movie is to question reality, and the last shot is to show you what the reality is.
Dexter created his family in Dexter's lab.
Yeah.
Why did he create Dee Dee?
Because all of his projects and shit blow up. She always blows them up, and in the opening song, it's like there's gloom and doom and things go boom.
Yeah.
So his family died because Dee Dee was a fucking jerk off, and he had to rebuild them.
He cloned them or something?
Robots or clones,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
Okay. That kind of makes sense. I can see her fucking everything up really hardcore, and then he remakes them, and he doesn't want to completely remake them, but he makes her slightly less dangerous.
Yeah. Hardy's Mad Max is actually the feral kid from Road Warrior.
Yeah, this one makes some sense, given the timeline of the whole deal. Except, I don't know if you ever heard Yeah, he did hear the name Max. They did say it. I just watched it the other day. They say the name Max in that movie more than any of the other ones.
Ferris Bueller is just a figment of Cameron's imagination.
No, because
Jar Jar
Rudy is obsessed with him.
Jar Jar is a Sith Lord.
Classic.
Oh.
Classic. Come on.
Pokemon takes place in post-Pokemon War society. Yes.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Surge or whatever. Dan Surge.
Yeah. And there you go. There's some fun conspiracies to light it up for you.
Hey, I like it. Even though Joe's a bigger negative Nancy than Mike, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Mike wears it, and Joe just pretends. Look at him, fucking finger in his mouth with his pinky.
You know, what are you gonna do? For those of you wondering, yes, we were gonna do Black Eyed Kids. That's what we said on the last episode. But Kyle's not here, as you can tell, and I want him to be here because I want to thoroughly terrify him. Because I have a first-hand account of a Black Eyed Children encounter in this town.
What are they again?
I think I want to save this. I don't know if I want to have any of this spoiled for me.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's something to look forward to.
All right.
There's no Kyle to do his stuff. So I'll just say, fuck you. And then go to tpublic.com, search Nerdities, peruse all the wares. You're not going to buy it, you lazy fuck. Head over to sinfulcreationsbyjustin.com and also Windows Shop because you're probably too poor, you fucking poor, to get a thing of cookies, even though it's half the price of fucking Crumble. You'll waddle your fat, useless ass into Crumble and pay $32 for 6 cookies, and you could pay $14 for 6 cookies on Sinful Creations, and they're better. Speaking of which, did Pat like all his bars that he had ordered?
Oh yeah, he was real happy with everything.
So there you go. Satisfied customer. Maybe you should be one too, asshole.
So yeah, go on Google and Google Nerdities, Nerdaties. We're everywhere.
That's not how you usually do this.
Yeah, but Kyle wasn't here, so I'm just saying because Google Nerdities.
Yeah, but I said, you know the Kyle shit. They don't.
Yeah, I know. Check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/nerdities. Bash that subscribe button and ring that bell to get notified when new content is coming, because a whole lot of new content is coming. Because I have to find time to edit more videos, too. We have Nerd ET Season 1 dropping on the YouTubes, which is our cooking show. There is a May the 4th special on that one. We have the final installment of the Joe Trilogy. We have some short films. We have a feature film in the works. We have a Halloween special, Christmas special, Hanukkah special, Kwanzaa special, Labor Day special, second Tuesday of November special.
That's news to me. I mean, we only have so much writing time.
It's true. And Mike doesn't come down every week to write.
Give us a budget for this stuff so we could make more of these and make them better for you.
Joe will send you feet pictures.
Yeah, well, sure, why not?
And then you can make an ookie cookie.
Write to us at nerdities@gmail.com. We'll croon, we'll swoon, we'll talk about your business and or product.
All right. The opinions of the Nerdities crew are idiotic and poorly thought out, but don't worry, next week's will be far more insulting. Bye-bye.
Fuck you.
Because of the end of civilization, the Clamp Cable Network now leaves the air. We hope you have enjoyed our programming, but more importantly, we hope you have enjoyed life.